Hi everybody, today I'm gonna show you my pulled pork recipe from Quebec, Canada. So it's a 12 hours in the oven recipe, so you gotta make sure that you can be there when this is ready, but it's pretty easy. And here how it goes, and here what you need in order to make it happen. So first of all, what you need is a shoulder pork, roughly in between 4 kilogram to in between 4 to 8 kilogram. 4 would be half of a real shoulder pork, and 8 more a real one. This is like more than half of it. If you're just 4, I suggest you take half of it, which is like this one, about 4 kilogram. 4.5, sorry, and then a full one would be around 8 to 9 kilogram, or even 10 if a really big one. And here is the other part of it. Mainly you need some black beer. I would suggest a minimum of 750 milliliter, or the best will be 1 liter to 1.5 liter depending on the size of the meat you use. Onions, garlic, maple syrup, soya sauce, ketchup, and then the spices for the rub, the Cajun spices, dry mustard, some paprika, thyme, oregano, basilic, some curry powder, and then I'm gonna show you, but you need all to mix that, and it will create that powder here for the dry rub. Remember, this is one part, this is another part separately. Okay, so here how it goes. Mainly you want to do your liquid part first before doing your rub, which means to make your onions ready, and mainly it's a quarters. It's not difficult. All you know is big quarters like that, because mainly you're gonna see that in 12 hours in the oven, if you cut it too small, there ain't gonna be anything left of it. The other thing is your garlic. You want to just make it in like an half size that you're gonna blue a little bit. Just make sure that the juice come out of it. So mainly what you do is put your onions in, right? This. Your garlic that you're gonna just squash a little bit so the juice go out and get in a mix a little bit faster, because you want the meat to absorb every single little thing you're gonna give it to. You don't want to cut it more than a half, because that's the same thing, then the onion needs to stay a little bit bigger. What you do, and you're going to put that beer here. So the bubbles already start to go off, because you're going to see that you don't want to mix that too hard at the beginning. You know how bare it is. It's going to do a lot of brew. You can see here. So already the black beer with all those spices in it are mixing with the onions and the garlic. And even it doesn't need to be beer that you like. That's mainly beer that I hate a lot personally. And, but all the spices and the flavor will get in the meat, and there won't be any alcohol left in that meat, mainly. So any brown or black beer would do the job just perfectly. It doesn't need to be black. Or very heavy red might work as well, but preferably brown or black. No gayness, you need high volume of alcohol, like at least 6% alcohol into it. So you get some texture into that. And then what you do is I'm gonna wait a little bit for that brew to go out, because generally those beer have a lot of it. What you're gonna do is you're gonna put your ketchup, your soy sauce, and your maple syrup, some real one please, not some fake electric wire tree maple syrup, you know. So once you see that it's the brew is almost out and it's just the beer, the onions, and all of that, what you do is you put your soy sauce. You don't want to put too much of it, and remember, this is used to salt the thing, so don't add any salt to the recipe. Then you're gonna put your ketchup to get some vinegar a little bit. And then the maple syrup. A little bit more. And then you mix this even for the meat. Yeah, it might not smell good at the beginning, but don't worry, your meat's gonna be fucking awesome. Because it will smell the alcohol a lot because of the beer, so don't worry about that. And onions may get in the middle of your thing like that, don't worry either. Okay, so the reason why we started with the liquid and the onions and garlic is you want it to, the flavors to get all together, to melt as one flavor that's gonna get in the meat. So we're gonna put it aside a little bit. And then we're gonna prepare the rub for the meat. So the rub, you want to make sure that you mix an equal part of Cajun spice, paprika, dry mustard, and all the others that I named at the beginning. So it will do a little kind of red, yellowish orange kind of powder, don't worry. And it doesn't need to be exactly the same. You can adjust depending on what you like. If you don't like one of those spices, you don't have to do it this way. Necessarily. And the curry powder is the one that you put the less in it. It's just a little bit. Same with the thyme, the Oregon. That's just a little bit as well. Actually, the thyme, the Oregon, and the basilic are to put with the liquid. So that's a little bit different. Gonna put in it. Okay, so now that we have our piece of meat that is fully rubbed, right? Again, we want to make sure that all the piece of the meat have spices around it, all little corner. Don't worry if you think that there is too much. Most of it will go out anyway, just like the alcohol. Then what you do is you make sure that all your onions, garlic and all that, spices is properly mixed. And once it is, and it's well incorporated, you make sure to put it on the side of it. Start with the liquids a little bit, and then put some onions on each side and garlic. Make sure that there is plenty of it, just as much as there is liquid, right? And that's why you want a big pan like the one that I got, because you want a lot of it to fit in. Because again, 12 hours in the oven, you ain't gonna see, most of it will be gone. Will be all small. And normally what should happen is, so actually once you're done with it, that you made your liquid part, your dry rub on your meat, that's what it should look like. You're gonna have plenty of onion. Personally, I put a little bit more. You can put a little bit less if you don't like it that much. And if you see, like mine, that it's missing a little bit of liquid near the onions, you want to make sure that you put some water into it, right? Because 12 hours in the oven, you're gonna see that most of the liquid's gonna be gone after. Well guys, we're the day after. I started it at 8:30 last evening, and now it's 8:30 in the morning. So let's see what it looks like. Oh, that's gonna be just heaven. And let's make the test. Look at that. What you're gonna do here is gonna make sure to pull it, right? You want all the juice to get in there, right? It's gonna be even more juicy and tender than it is already. And you know, if some of you worried about the bone, look what's gonna happen to the bone just with the fork like that. So yeah, and all that beautiful juice here that I'm working on, all gonna get in my meat. Then you do some burgers with some melted cheese on it, or whatever. Just use your imagination. Thank you for watching.